Okay, so we're going to build what's called an amortization spreadsheet. What this does is this says if you got a home loan or any type of loan that has a set amount at the beginning, it'll tell you how much your payment should be each month, and then we can track what amount goes to interest versus what amount goes to the principal. And then eventually, we're going to look at this extra payment scenario where if you add an extra 50 bucks or 100 bucks, you'll be able to see how much that saves you over time, like how much quicker you can pay the entire loan off. Now, just so we're all on the same page, we're going to go to our directions and we're going to all type in these numbers. Now, eventually you're going to do your own research and kind of look for something that you would like to eventually buy, but just so we can get the spreadsheet set up correctly, we're going to use the 235,000, 10, 6, and 30. So if you will go input those numbers there, 235,000 price of the home. We're going to start with a down payment of 10%, interest rate of 6% a year, and a 30-year mortgage. Now our down payment is going to be the sale price of the home times the percent. So just click on those two cells after you hit equals, hit enter. And so in order to get this loan, we'd have to come up with $23,000 on our own. The loan amount is going to be the sale price minus the down payment. And that's the actual amount that we want to finance. Now, we're going to take advantage of some nice shortcuts that Excel has built into it for this little project. So hit equals and then PMT and then open parentheses, and it's actually going to guide us and tell us what we want. And actually right at the beginning, if you will, before we do that, if you'll hit a minus and then PMT, then that'll keep everything positive. Alright, so we want the rate. So the rate would be, for our sample problem here, would be 6% divided by 12, because it's 12 months in a year, so we get 1/12 of that percent each month. The number of pay periods, again, would be the loan of years times 12, because we're paying payment each month. And then the present value, it'd be the loan amount itself. And then I'm going to hit enter there. And so to get this house, I would have to come up with $1,268.05 in order to afford this house. Okay, so the next little part of our spreadsheet is the total interest for the loan, which is always the interesting. So how much we're paying to borrow $211,000. How much am I going to add on top of that for the bank? So again, we're going to use a shortcut. Just use a formula that's built into Excel called cumulative interest. So if you start typing in CUMI, pay, let's see, CUMI, PMT, it's going to ask us for our rate, which is the 6% divided by 12. So I'm just going to click on each cell, and then the number of payment periods, so that'd be the loan years times 12. Then the present value, which is the loan amount. Then the start period, well, we're going to start at month 1, and I'm going to end it after I've made 30, I'm sorry, let me link that up. The loan years times the month. And then this last bit is, when am I making the payment? Am I going to pay at the start of the month, at the end of the month? You wouldn't think it necessarily matters, but it actually does. So just so we're all uniform, we're going to say that we're going to all do this at the end of each month. So we're going to put a 0 in there and then hit enter. And it's going to give me a negative amount. So if I would like that to be positive, you just click on it and just put a negative between the equal sign and the QME payment function. And so believe it or not, what that does in fact say is it says if we borrow $211,500, we're going to pay in interest $244,000 to the bank plus the loan amount. Sort of humbling to sort of think about that. Okay, so let's fill out this amortization spreadsheet. Start with the interest field. Now it turns out at month 0 is when we're starting the loan, that we're just going to link that to the balance of the loan amount. So I'm just going to hit equals and then hit that 211 there. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate what percent interest am I going to pay each month, and we're going to sort of look at, we know our house payment's the $1,268, but what amount of that's going to go to interest versus what amount's going to go to principal. Okay. So to do that, I want to click on, so hit equals, and I want 6% divided by 12, because we're going to pay that 1/12 of the 6% in interest each month, times the current loan amount. Okay, so that means 1,057 goes towards, in that very first payment I make, even though I'm paying $1,268, 1,057 goes towards the interest, and the barely couple hundred goes towards the principal. Okay, now real quick with this, because I want the spreadsheet to always refer back to a couple of cells every time. So like I want to put dollar signs around the D, and let's see, and then that's about it, because I want to just go back up and refer to that, and we'll kind of test that we didn't screw that up here in a minute. Okay, principal is going to be the payment minus the interest. And so that very first month I'm only paying $210. And again, I want that to link up to a specific cell every time it calculates it. So around the D8, I want to put dollar signs around it. Okay. And so the balance then is going to be the balance of the previous month minus the principal. Okay, so after 1 month, after paying $1,268, I've only really affected $210 so far. Okay, now if this is done correctly, when I drag it down another month, I should see the interest is about the same. It's a little less. I've saved $1, yay! Which means $1 more goes to principal, yay! And so my balance should go down any more. And since that looked like it was calculated correctly, I can drag it down. Looks like we're fine, and so I'll just double kind of click that. And so as I scroll down, I can see in any given month that less and less is going to interest and more is going to principal. And so eventually they'll outweigh each other, or they'll match, and then more will be going to principal and less be going to interest. So for this particular home loan, because it's a 30-year loan, it would take me 360 months, obviously. And if I wanted to, I could sum this entire column C, and that would tell me the amount of money that I'm going strictly towards interest. Okay, and so that handles part 1 of the spreadsheet, and then we'll jump over to part 2. Okay, so after we complete part 1, we want to go back to Blackboard and get part 2 and download that. And part 2 is going to help us look at extra payment. How much did that save us? And so I'm going to zoom in here. So we're going to start by typing in all of those, some of those numbers. It'll actually update part of this for us. So we're going to do 100, and we're just going to start by adding 105.67. So 105.67. And then from here we're going to type in some more formulas and kind of link these things together. Okay, by the way, in case you're wondering where did this number come from, what we're doing, just off the side here and then I'll get rid of this. If you take the total payment, the 1268.05, and divide that by 12, we get this magic number. So we're saying what would happen if I add an extra house payment a year, which is why it's the 105.67. Okay, so to calculate months to pay, we're going to take advantage of another Excel spreadsheet formula called NPER. So equals NPER, parentheses. It's going to ask us for the rate, so that's the 6% divided by 12. It's going to ask us for our payment. Oddly enough, this needs to be a negative amount. So I'm going to put a negative and then parentheses. And our payment is the 1268 plus that extra 105 on top of it. And then comma, the present value, which is the loan amount, is the 211. And so it would take us 295 months to pay off this alone with that extra amount. Months saved, so if I go equals, so 30 times 12, which is the original amount, minus this new amount, which is 295. So I would save 65 months by adding that extra $100. And the amount of years that would be, so that equals 65 divided by 12. So that would save me about 5.5 years. Okay, so our new interest, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the total payment we make, so we're going to go parentheses the 1268, so the house payment plus the extra amount, and we're going to times that by the number of months that we paid, and we're going to subtract off the actual loan amount. And so I would actually get 193,000 would be the new interest that I'd be paying. And interest saved is the old interest, so the 247,997 minus the new interest, and that tells me that I would, just by adding this extra $100 a month, I would be saving almost $52,000 for the entire life of the loan.